Before we break down DeMario Douglas and Rhamondre Stevenson on today's video, I thought I'd show some love to some Patriots legends out here. Julian Edelman and Bill Parcells are getting inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame, and you can stream that live on Patriots.com Saturday, September 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern. So before we get into the video, let's show some love to these Patriots legends. Jules and the Hall of Fame coach, Bill Parcells, is getting inducted. So show him some love, like the video, and let's get started with today's show. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and on today's show, we're talking about Pop Douglas. Is he being phased out of this offense? We did not really see him that much, if at all, during the Dolphins game on Sunday, and also not a lot during week 1 against the Raiders. And also, Rhamondre Stevenson having a resurgence of his career. It may look like he's back to his old 2022 self, so could he be the Patriots running back 1? Let's start off with Pop Douglas, though. And we saw him. He scored a touchdown in the first game against the Las Vegas Raiders. But that second game against the Dolphins, I kept finding myself asking questions of where the hell is Pop Douglas? And then as you go over and go looking back and looking at the snaps, it seems like his role has just completely diminished after week 2. And during the season, I mean, after week 1, it was absolutely awful. It was, I think, 2 catches for -2 yards, and he did have a touchdown. And I kept asking, how the hell do you have that many yards or negative yardage while you're also scoring a touchdown? And then now 3 receptions, 6 yards, 1 touchdown, and a long catch of 8. But we thought that he was going to be a big breakout candidate in this offseason. We thought that he was going to kind of elevate into one of the elite Patriots wide receivers because we saw what he did last year in the 24 season, 66 catches, 621 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was Drake Maye's when Drake Maye took over, starting to be his favorite target, and we really started to see them getting kind of chemistry, and even throughout the offseason, he was Drake Maye's favorite target and as that breakout candidate. And if we go back to training camp, Phil Perry, I'm not the only one that kind of realized, hey, Pop Douglas is definitely going to be one of these pivotal points of this offense, being the most productive wide receiver. He said it's absolutely clear he's kind of the hub of this offense in a way that Diggs probably won't be. Diggs is going to get his catches, but I think if you look at by the end of the year, who's going to get more targets and more opportunities to handle the ball? If it holds up, that'll be Pop Douglas. He was active. And from what Phil Perry said, and we all know that Phil Perry of NBC Sports Boston had a big problem with Stephon Diggs, to the point where Stephon Diggs had to apologize to Phil Perry for being quote-unquote an a-hole during the offseason. And I think Phil Perry even said that he could be traded at some point, which is absolute blasphemy. I don't know what that has been, but we know he's playing right now, and he's been a lot better than Pop Douglas. And Pop Douglas has kind of fell all the way down. And here's his stats from the last 2 weeks of the NFL season. Like week 1, 45 snaps. Yeah, that's what you expect. 7 targets for only 2 catches. I want you to get at least 5 of those receptions. -2 yards and 1 touchdown. But then you go into week 2, and only 15 snaps of the entire game. 1 target, 1 reception, and 8 yards. Since Pop Douglas caught that first touchdown for this Patriots season, he has been absolutely nowhere to be found. And I kept wondering, where is Pop Douglas? Where the hell is DeMario Douglas on the field? Because I kept saying, hey, maybe you kind of want to implement that slot because that's the Josh McDaniels offense. We saw how much Danny Amendola thrived. We've seen how much Julian Edelman thrived in that type of offense. And then you look at what the Patriots wide receiver depth chart is, and Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, I still have DeMario Douglas there. But Matt Collins has become kind of that other guy. And the Patriots aren't using the slot in the slightest, and they're kind of using Stephon Diggs, where I really thought he'd be more of that ex-wide receiver, but it's been Kayshon Boutte, and DeMario Douglas is just sitting on the bench. But Drake Maye was asked about this because this has been the biggest topic of the New England Patriots the past couple of days, and they asked him. They said, well, Drake, what is up with Pop Douglas? What's going on here? And you can push it. You can push it, Andrew. It doesn't matter. I can read off this quote for these guys. I know it's a little cramped in there, but I can read it off for you. The big thing with Pop is he's done such a great job since training camp, since the spring, learning the offense, being in different roles. The ball's going to find him. There are some opportunities where we give him the football, and I think he's going to use them more. He's a great player, good with the ball in his hands. Just keep going. I think sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way in the game plan some weeks, and you'll get bigger personnel and things like that to run the football. And I took that into consideration of like, hey, all right, well, we do know that the Patriots wanted to run the ball a lot more against Miami. Hell, they threw the ball every single play throughout the entire second half against the Las Vegas Raiders. So I kind of just went looking back, and you can see from these stats. This is week 1 against Las Vegas. You only ran the ball 18 times, and you ran it twice in the second half. Against Miami, it was completely even. Completely. They ran the ball more times than they did passing, 29 against the Dolphins. And from what I've looked at, I went back and looked at the film. I looked back at the All-22. The Patriots, they did not use 4 wide receivers, if at all. That's why Pop Douglas was only on the field 15 snaps. Patriots used 3 wide receivers. You can see it from this picture right here. You see Kayshon Boutte. You see Mac Hollins. You see Stephon Diggs on that field, and then you're in the shotgun with Drake Maye and Rhamondre Stevenson. They're also using a lot of 12 personnel. You're seeing Austin Hooper. You're seeing Hunter Henry on the field at the same time. Not seeing Pop Douglas. And that's just the way the game plan was handled against the Dolphins. I don't expect it to go on a lot longer through the season. And Pop Douglas was also asked about it, and he wasn't necessarily taking it quite personally. I know he's probably angry about, I had 66 catches last year. Why am I not getting the ball a lot more? I know how good of a player I am. Well, they asked him about it, and this is what he had to say. He said, for an athlete who loves the game, that part is frustrating. But, man, at the end of the day, I'm blessed. We got the dub. That would be very selfish of me to come in here angry after a win, and I can't be mad. And I'll say, I don't think this is going to be the case at all this season. You go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and, you're going to try to run the ball a lot more, but I do expect the slot to get in. I do expect them to run a lot more slot because I also want to see Efton Chisholm in the game at some point. I like Pop Douglas. He did drop a crucial catch during the first game of the season, and maybe that was it, but I think that it was all just because of the game plan. They wanted to run the ball more, and that's why Pop Douglas was on the field. It's not a player-oriented, it's a system-oriented type offense here in New England. If you still have faith in Pop Douglas, like I do, because I think he's going to be on the field for probably 30 snaps on Sunday against the Steelers. You're going to need him. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon. We're going to break down about Rhamondre Stevenson and just how much he's kind of resurged in this offense. But first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. I think that's from last week, so we don't have to go to it. But every single day, you can make a lineup, and I made a lineup. I think Stephon Diggs is getting his first catch this season. I think that Drake Maye is going on the more on his over. And PrizePicks is also offering you a max discount, which Patrick Mahomes for 1 singular yard. So go ahead, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, so let's talk about Rhamondre. And a lot of people were also saying throughout the whole entire offseason, throughout the preseason, because we know what Rhamondre Stevenson did. He had a fumbling problem. Well, we haven't seen him fumble yet, which is a really, really good thing. But everybody wanted Travion Henderson to be that running back one. Well, Rhamondre Stevenson's proved that he is still going to be the Patriots' starting running back. 18 carries, 69 yards throughout this season so far. He didn't really have a good game against the Las Vegas Raiders, but hell, neither did TreVeyon Henderson. The run game was just non-existent because they didn't even try to implement it in their game. Completely abandoned it. But if you look at the comparison between these two running backs, between Henderson, between Stevenson, you can see that, yeah, Henderson's averaging more yards per carry, but Rhamondre, he's getting the ball a lot more. And the one thing that I like to see is TreVeyon Henderson's supposed to be that pass-catching back. Well, Rhamondre's been a great pass-catching back. 7 receptions compared to 8. They are still using Rhamondre in the passing game that we've seen in the past. I also just think that Henderson just needs more time. Everybody was all high and mighty about every single rookie running back that was coming into the league this season, like Amarian Hampton, like Ashton Genty, like TreVeyon Henderson. And, I mean, we could talk about Quinshon Judkins if you really want to. But none of them have really stuck out a lot. We saw Amarian Hampton completely fall off a cliff, and Najee Harris with one eye has become their starting running back. It's going to take time for these rookie running backs to kind of get into NFL shape and learn the game because it's a lot different than college. And Henderson against Miami was not good, guys. Not good. This is the last time I checked it. I checked it on Monday, and he had a pass blocking grade of 0. 0. I've never seen that. Obviously, he's not an offensive lineman, but the Patriots love to use him in the passing game. And coming out of Ohio State, everybody looked at him as, hey, this is the guy that can be one of the great people in pass blocking. Well, he also had 3 holding calls because he was getting beat up, because he was getting bullied. And he also allowed a sack in the game. That is unacceptable. But I'm going to give you an excuse because you're a rookie. You still need Henderson, though, to be that third down back for the New England Patriots. With his speed, you can see that. You can see how good he's going to be. You can see that he's going to be in the league for a very, very, very long time, and he's going to get better and going to get better and going to get better. But Rhamondre is here to stay. Henderson's only a rookie. It's going to be okay. You're going to have faults. Will Campbell, he's having a false start problem. But other than that, it seems like he's a lockdown offensive lineman and playing amazing. And I want him to keep that up. But I also expect TreVeyon Henderson to keep that up and kind of get better throughout the entire season. But I know some people are still going to want Henderson to be that starting running back. And that's okay. That's why we have opinions. We talk about it here on the channel. I'm going with Rhamondre now because he impressed me. But I want you guys to get down in the comments section. Pick a starter for me. Type RS for Rhamondre Stevenson or type TH for TreVeyon Henderson. Got a game going on Sunday. Take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you haven't seen the preview yet, you can find that in the comments and description of today's video. But if you subscribe to the channel, you probably didn't miss out, and that's why you should sub. So go ahead, hit that sub button right now. And as always, let's go Pats.